walls of your cells is not a good thing. Inflammation is the #1 root cause of every major disease that we have. Okay? So do you see the snowball effect that begins to take place here?
What about when you say it's not getting enough oxygen? You give us an example of somebody, what other ways do we not get enough, not breathing properly?
Correct,
we talked about last week.
Yes, we're going to talk about a list of those things.
And all this is on that sheet? That
Yes, you'll be getting all of this. Okay, let's see, where am I here? All right. Poor oxygenation comes from a buildup of carcinogens and other toxins within and around the cells. This buildup of carcinogens and toxins blocks and then damages the cellular oxygen respiration mechanism inside the cell itself. It becomes very good at using sugar instead of oxygen for its food source. Okay? Clumping up of red blood cells slows down the bloodstream and restricts flow to your capillaries. This also causes poor oxygenation. However you say that word. Even when we have a lack of building blocks in our cells that come from the omega-3 fatty acids, if we are not putting enough of those inside of our body, we are restricting oxygen exchange from the blood into the cellular level. Okay? So, not having enough essential fatty acids in our diet can cause a lack of oxygen to the cells. Having a buildup of carcinogens and toxins. Carcinogens are often found in the form of personal care products that have artificial things in them, like parabens. You've probably heard of BPA, which is put into a lot of water bottles. It's put into plastic. And when the bottle sits in the sun too long, the heat that goes through the plastic pulls the paraben, which is a plastic. It is a artificial, synthetic combination of elements that leaches into your water, and then you drink that water. And the PBA, the plastic that has come out of that bottle leaching into the water, is very, very cancer-producing when it gets into the body.
So don't use the plastic bottles then.
If at all possible, or at least keep them cool. However, you don't know where they've been sitting in warehouses before you ever purchased it and how hot they got before then.
We don't put plastic in the microwave either.
Right, you don't cook in plastic in the microwave either, because the same thing will happen. It will leach out
Well, that'd
of
be
the
the
plastic
same
into
thing.
your
People
food.
Using plastic glasses
Yes.
in the house,
Well,
even though they don't get hot.
if they don't get hot, then the plastic doesn't begin to break down. It's the heat process that breaks them down.
I've heard that you're not supposed to freeze water.
In your
My
plastic.
husband does that for fishing trips and stuff. He'll take those and he'll leave space for the water to expand, but he's still getting the carcinogens out of it.
Yes. Let me explain why it's carcinogen. Anything that is artificial or synthetic is not made out of the same chemical compounds that the human flesh is made out of. God reached down into the dust of the earth and He formed man. We are made out of all the same chemicals that are in the earth. They are minerals. Okay, we need those minerals more than we need vitamins to keep our body working functioning appropriately. If we are deficient in minerals, we will have an imbalance in the body, and a symptom will arise. When we put something that is artificial or synthetic into the body assumes that it's for the benefit of the body. So it takes it to the digestive tract to break it down, to pull out the good things to send to the cells to feed the cells. But things that are artificial and synthetic, because they're not made out of the same chemical compounds that we are made out of, cannot even be broken down. So when the digestive system can't break them down, it sends a message to the brain and it says, I've got something in here, I can't break it down. What do you want me to do with it? And the brain says, well, if you can't break it down, it's not good for the body, it's a threat to the body. It's toxic. It's a foreign invader. Let's protect the body from it. And the brain sends a message, take it out of the digestive system, slip it into a fat cell to protect the body from it. Okay? But over a period of time, these artificial things are very, very susceptible to breaking down because they're not real. And it will start to break down inside the fat cell, and the toxic effect of those things leaches out of the fat cell, gets in your bloodstream, and then is carried to every cell in your body. Very, very stressful on the body. When your cells are overstressed over a period of time, they don't get enough oxygen, they start feeding off of sugar, they start creating inflammation on the inside walls of the cells, they begin mutating. That's why something that is artificial and synthetic is called a carcinogen inside your body. Okay?
So how do you get rid of like fermenting stuff in your...
I'm glad you asked that question. And we will get to that in a couple minutes. Okay. In an established scientific fact that there is another key factor in the development of cancer for the internal terrain environment of your body. And that is when your pH balance is too acidic. Okay? So we've talked about two major causes of cells mutating and becoming cancerous. Number one, not having enough oxygen. And now number two, the environment in your body, the pH changes so that it's more acidic than it is alkaline. That is not balance. That is very, very cancer forming inside the body. The pH of an extracellular fluid that surrounds a tumor can be very acidic, while the pH of the healthy tissues in other areas of the body remain alkaline. In simple terms, an acidic environment creates a perfect environment for cancer cells to grow. Now, anything that you eat that is toxic, anything that you put in your body or on your body that is toxic, when it's not able to be digested properly and utilized properly, will create an imbalance in your pH level. Okay? When digestion can't happen properly and foods begin to rot and putrefy, it changes the pH balance within the body. So we're seeing the same things happening over and over, causing several effects, not just one effect, that lead to the formation of mutating cells. Now, cancer cells, like any other cell in your body, don't want to die. They want to survive. So they're going to do whatever they need to do to stay alive. Cancer cells become resistant to drugs that doctors often use to eliminate the cancer cells. Initially, that drug will get in there and disrupt what's going on in the body and is a threat to the survival of the cancer cells. And the cancer cells go, wait, this has the potential to kill me and I'm not ready to die. So it begins to adapt and get stronger in response to this drug, so that no longer does the drug have the ability to kill it.
Chemo are you talking about?
I didn't use that word.
My friend is just was going to go natural because she said, but the doctor persuaded her to do the chemo, so she's just stopped.
And the even more unfortunate thing about...
Well, will you say that again? I missed something.
Okay.
Say that again.
All right.
Few sentences.
Every cell in your body, whether it's a normal functioning cell or a mutating cancerous cell, is programmed to live, to survive. And every cell will do whatever is needed to adapt to outside stimuli to try and stay alive. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, when you have mutating cells that have been diagnosed and somebody says, okay, we need to get these cells under control, let's kill them, and let's use an artificial synthetic means to attack those cells to kill them. When that drug is introduced to the body and the cancer cells are hit with it, the cancer cells, oh my, this has the potential to kill me, but I'm not ready to die. So the cancer cells, wanting to survive, begin to adapt and change and become immune to this drug so that they do not die. Now, if it's already a mutating cancerous cell, remember it's already reproducing much faster than normal cells do. Okay? But you zap it with a drug that says to it, okay, the cell, in response to the drug, the cell says, oh, I've got to adapt so that this won't kill me anymore. Now not only is it mutating and reproducing faster and faster, but it's also changing so that the drug has no effect whatsoever on it. So in other words, the drug is stimulating the cancer cells to become stronger.
Well, that even makes it even more sure that it was the Word of God that cured my cancer instead of chemo.
And let me make this point as well, if you haven't already thought of it. When drugs get in your body, drugs don't have wisdom. They're artificial. They're not compatible with our bodies. So they get in there and they start killing all kinds of cells, not just mutating cells. They kill healthy cells as well. So now you have more cancer cells producing at a faster rate to overcome the drugs that have been put in there trying to kill it, and you have perfectly healthy cells that are dying because of the drugs as well. So you are putting a double stress on the body when you introduce artificial synthetic things to the body to get control of what's going on naturally inside the body.
So the chemo is killing you faster than the cancer would kill you.
What about people that, there's a large percentage that survive chemo?
There are. And we're going to talk about what we can do in our environment to help the environment create a place where cancer cells return back to the good kid on the block again, okay? I'm so glad that you're thinking and you're asking these questions. That it means that it's...
Because, you know, I've never been in that situation. I've always said to my husband, I don't know what I'd do because I know that's poison that you're putting into your body. But then, like my friend was told, well, this particular cancer she's got, they've got rid of the lump through surgery, but they don't know if there's some more somewhere else. And they said, this type of cancer that you've got, if it spreads, if it is there in your body, it's terminal, so you have to have this chemo. This is the situation she's been put in, and yet she was going to go natural. But so how do you, unless you're 100% sure, and you're a person like you that just knows what to do, people.
Well, I feel like the time when you get are diagnosed with it and you're stressed with that, it's just about too late to learn what we're learning now, because you just can't.
You're talking
start
about your
from
life,
scratch,
You've got to be really sure of knowing what you need to do to be able to be confident enough to take that natural path as opposed to the chemo. And hopefully you're going to be our teacher, so that if we ever cross that path, we're confident enough that we can fight it ourselves. Yeah.
Well, I don't think any of us are here by accident. I think it's all a divine plan of the Lord that each one of us is here to hear this. And to bring Linda to South Carolina into our lives.
Thank you. Oh, we're so glad of that.
Another point I want to make about how cancer cells want to survive and how they respond differently than normal cells that aren't mutating is that when cancer cells can become resistant to the chemical agents that are introduced to the body in just a few weeks to a couple of months, that adaptation takes place in a cancer cell. But a normal cell that is being continuously attacked by germs or viruses and